As we look ahead, we have Cody Chupp in studio along with Scott Jewett, myself, Jason Havoc, to bring you hockey talk tonight on a shortened show. And as we look ahead to this weekend.
Hey, Coach, I got to ask you, Dash for Cash. Somebody throws $6,500 at center ice. That's a lot of money.
Are you going to jump off the bench and try to jump in there?
I asked last year if there was any way I could get into that. You know, I went to school to be an elementary school teacher, so I thought maybe I could maybe jump in line and nobody would notice. But they said in a suit and tie that I would not be allowed. So,
Coach, how elementary school teacher to coach in the USHL? How's that happen?
I went to school at Pere State University after playing 2 years.
The Harvard of the Midwest, by the way.
Yes, yeah. A lot of people don't know that, but now you do.
It's everybody's secret.
Nice.
I played 2 years in the USHL in Tri-City and Waterloo. Was fortunate enough to go back home and play at Pere State in my hometown. Played 4 years there, and afterward I had an opportunity to play pro hockey for a few years, and so I played in Austin, Texas, and Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and I actually retired from injury and was not really sure what I was going to do. I thought about going back to school and helping out at Ferris as I finished my degree, and I actually got a phone call from Derek Lalonde, the former Gambler coach, who I've known for a number of years. He actually recruited me to Fair State before he left for Denver. He called and asked if I had any interest in coaching, and I said, no, not at all. I want to stay at home and finish my degree. So he gave me the number of a guy that started the team at Utica College, a Division III hockey school out east in Utica, New York, and said he was looking for an assistant. So I gave him a call, talked to him for about 35 minutes, and after that conversation was packing and on my way out to Utica, New York to start coaching as a grad assistant. So
I mean that's a credit to you, Cody. And we had an assistant coach prior to you being here, and David Carl, a young guy, and I remember a long drive home with Derek Lalonde after the Top Prospects game in Muskegon, after we found out that John Roger was moving on to a head coaching position, a former assistant coach for the Green Bay Gamblers. And he called David Carl, and I think David was 24, 25 at the time. He's like, you're our guy. That's a credit to the impact guys like yourself, like David Carl, have on other coaches in the league, because that was like you were Derek's first call. David was his first call too for that position. So it's a credit to you guys in a very tight hockey community.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about hockey is as you go on and you move up in levels, the world gets smaller and smaller. And what I tell every young player is don't make any enemies in the sport, and be a good person off the ice, because you don't know how these people can help you in the future. And Derek's a guy that I play golf with in the summer every once in a while, and we kept in touch over the years as I was playing and working my way through school and in pro hockey. And with these guys that you meet in hockey, the conversation is easy. It's always easy to talk hockey. And as I went on in my career, my role as a player changed. I had to understand the game and be a student of the game so much more in order to find where I fit and to make rosters and to make the lineup every night, that it was important for me to be paying attention in all these meetings and every aspect, and getting my work before and after practice. And I think that's what lended itself to wanting to get into coaching and to understanding the coaching side of it, and having the confidence to be a coach.
Now, we are joined by Green Bay Gamblers defenseman, of course, local prodigy, Matt Berkovitz. Matt, how you doing?
Good. Good to be on.
Well, I got to bring it back to when you were traded from Sioux City to Green Bay. What was your overall feelings? Because, you're playing in the USHL for Sioux City, and then you get traded back to Green Bay, your hometown, and get to play in front of your hometown once again.
Yeah, it's tough at first. Always moving teams, you got to say goodbye to some good friends and good teammates, but it was a lot easier when you're coming back home and living at home and playing in front of the fans and your hometown team.
Now, your grandfather played hockey with the Green Bay Bobcats. Did that have anything, into your decision to play hockey?
Oh yeah, I don't think I had much of a choice growing up. I think they just threw some skates on me right away and sent me out there.
Drafted by the Anaheim Ducks in the 5th round in 2004. Walk me through your emotions when you found out that you were picked for an NHL team.
Oh man, it was all a blur. I was just so happy. You couldn't wipe that smile off my face for the next 48 hours. So it was just a cool experience for me.
Now, you were playing at Schwabenheim High School here in Green Bay. What made you want to go the USHL route?
Just the college hockey. Growing up watching college hockey, that was the biggest thing in Wisconsin because we don't have an NHL team. So it's the best league to get you to college hockey and develop you so that you can try and move on after college. So it's been an awesome decision.
What's your number one goal this year playing with the Green Bay Gamblers?
The number one goal playing here is to win a Clark Cup with teammates. So that's what we're working at every day and every weekend. And
you're a commit to the Wisconsin Badgers, of course, being a local kid here. I mean, that's got to be an easy decision for you. They got quite the history in Madison, and to play at the Kohl Center in front of the crowds they get, that's going to be an amazing feeling.
Yeah, growing up, that was the team to watch in Wisconsin, and it's such a storied program. So, very easy decision for me, and can't wait.
Well, we appreciate your time, Matt, tonight. Good luck this weekend here at the Resch Center, and hope everything goes well for you, and you get on that score sheet and have a great game.
All right, awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right, appreciate it, Matt. That's Matt Berkovitz, Green Bay Gamblers defenseman, as the Green Bay Gamblers get ready for a pair of games against Sioux Falls. Cody Chupp in studio with us, along with Scott Jewett, of course, Jason Habik, your two hosts here on Hockey Talk on WNFL as we bring Cody Chupp back into the conversation. You guys get the Sioux Falls Stampede coming in. They're 17-15-1, fourth in the Western Conference. But this is the first time you guys are going to see them this year. What are some of the challenges as a coaching staff that you have to face knowing that you're facing a team for the first time?
I think the biggest thing is just preparing based on what we see on video and what we hear from other coaches, especially in the West, that play against them a little more regularly. It's easy to scout and be prepared for teams that we play in our division because we see so much of them. The little changes that they make week to week, we're on top of. I think a team in the West is just a new challenge for us as a staff. But at the end of the day, not a whole lot changes because we're concerned about ourselves, and we know that if we take care of our end of it, at the end of the night, it'll work out in our favor, and we feel. We have the personnel and we have the team to beat anyone in our league on any given night. So if we do take care of our business, then we'll be all right in any team that we play from the West.
As an outsider coming in from Canada, JP, immediately when you hear the Coppo name in Green Bay, if you don't say hockey lore, it comes up. But how has it progressed now? And now that you're a high school hockey coach, what have you learned? What have you brought to the area?
Well, we brought back to the area what I can think of. What we always try to bring back of what we were taught at a young age. Guys that were taught by my father, by Bruce Ryuta, Paul Berkovitz, on and on, so forth, with good hockey. We always brought back good hockey vision, good hockey sense, and kept that in the back of our mind. I mean, the game has changed a little bit, so more speed is involved. The players are bigger and faster. So we have to keep up with that, too.
Now, what's interesting about your father, and I'm looking at this, he spent 15 years with the Green Bay Bobcats as a center wing in the United States Hockey League. At that time, it was a professional league, 559 points. But really interesting to me, and this wouldn't happen at any time today, but his last 4 years, he spent time as a player coach. So he actually coached team and was a player.
Oh yeah, I mean those guys could do a lot of things at that time. Due to the size of hockey around our area in USHL, there just wasn't too much interest in it. back then, not like it is today. So you wouldn't have the roles that you'd have back then transferring to today's game. The player coach, if you've ever seen the movie Slapshot, it was kind of like the Red Dunlop mold, but not quite that fighting wise.
Well, it's amazing too. Like an article that I had read that said you're lucky enough to grow up with your dad and some of those other guys that you had mentioned. I mean, biggest names in USA hockey history. And later on in the article, it said that you're happy to actually learn a lot about how to communicate the sports to others, especially kids, in that interview. So you can tell your passion is there, JP, to help these kids.
Well, it's something that I enjoyed thoroughly growing up. My father introduced it to me at a young age, of course, and I really started taking it seriously through the late adolescence and early teens. And that's when I really started erupt as trying to be a player. But also you pay attention of how to communicate in the game of hockey, and that is the biggest key to growing up in the sport. You understand a lot what's going on if you know how to talk.
Well, JP, I feel like we could talk to you for hours with all the stories that you could tell us with you and your father. It's great. We're kind of running out of time here, so I appreciate you joining us, and we wish you the best of luck this hockey season.
Thanks, JP.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
And that's JP Coppo, high school coach for Pere, and his father is one of the main reasons why hockey is becoming popular in this area and has become so popular.